Alexander the Great's glorious campaign out east unfortunately ended with him spotting India on the horizon. Alexander wept, realizing there were no more worthy worlds to conquer before him. His last and final conquest was trying to smash the terrible pain and sadness he felt brought on by the psychic damage caused by merely knowing of India's existence. His method in this fight was to crush even more beers with the boys than he normally would, and unfortunately it would be his downfall, or malaria or poisoning, but not in my version. In late May 323 BC, after spending several days crushing beers with the boys and living it up in Babylon, making sacrifices to the gods and planning his forthcoming Arabian conquest. Unfortunately, Alexander fell ill. Over the next 12 days, the illness progressed despite how many beers he crushed. On his last day before being plucked into heaven, all his top boys forced their way into his tent to see how their king was doing, if he needed some more delicious cans to crush. And worst case scenario, if his condition proved to be fatal, what the plans were for his succession. For Alexander's children were either far too young or not born yet, and his brother was a simple, soft-headed mongrel. Consumed by his progressing illness, he laid in his bed, sweating and trembling. The madness and existential terror brought on by his discovery and comprehension of the forbidden truth that India is a place that exists had destroyed his brain. When his top boys leaned in closer to hear who the king wanted to succeed him, the madness was broken for a moment. He looked each one of his favourite lads in the eyes with a piercing stare that was full of love, recognition and brotherhood. Alexander then simply said to them, "To the strongest." LOL. Later that afternoon, Alexander the Great, king of Macedon, hegemon to the Hellenic League, pharaoh of Egypt, king of Asia, and lord of the two lands, rode his horse into the sky to conquer his next and final kingdom, heaven. Upon the king's ascension into the heavens, his boys had a big argument. Such a huge argument, in fact, that people wrote down what happened and called the argument the Wars of the Diadochi. Each of his boys went their separate ways, slicing off a piece of Alexander's great empire for themselves, whilst claiming that they were his true successor. The band has broken up. The Beatles never got back together.